G'day everyone, Dan here. Welcome to North Queensland Barbecue and Brewing. Another video here from Pandanus Park. What we're doing, I'm building a red claw trap. I haven't got any red claw yet. I've got a few cherubim. We've got two sitting in there, decent size, from the river just here. But I bought some of this. This has got about 1 centimetre by centimetre, just steel sort of wire body fencing mesh used for chicken coop back home. So I'm going to cut this. I haven't sort of worked out the dimensions yet, but I'm going to cut a bit along this here to give me my ramps, and then the rest will be the actual trap itself. I'm only going to get about one trap out of this, I'd say, so it would be nice to get two. But anyway, I'm going to come in and just rip this down here, what I think will be, and give myself a decent amount of space for a trap. So I think about there, what's that, for about 160, 180 millimetres worth, and I'll just rip this down here like this. I've got the, I bought tools with me, so I've got the ability to do it, and I actually plan to build this. So I've got a few of the Wilson fish traps, and they've got a couple, but I had a couple of big ones fall out last night when I was checking them. So hopefully this one will actually hold them a little bit better. Alright, so I've cut that, and what I'll do now is I've got this will be the main body here. I'm going to have to come up with some dimensions. So that can sit over there for the ramps, and I'm thinking, you know, make probably about that wide. I've obviously got to divide that into four, and I've got a spare piece here, which is the same width. So, I didn't even check that, and I've managed to nail that. So, yeah, I've got enough. As long as I can get 4 pieces out of this to make my ramps that sit up like that for the red claw, or the yabbies to walk into, I should be fine. So, basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this to give myself 2 walls. Obviously, that'll probably be the other side, so just have to work out what I'm doing. I'll get my level. I want all these to be 90 degrees, and yeah, I can make it a decent enough size. I'm not sort of too worried. Come along there and bend that up, and that'll press into that 90 degrees nicely there. Hopefully that'll be deep enough. It should be. Might as well make a decent sized pot. Now I'm going to join this. I've got this wire here. I'll go through that in a minute. And I reckon about... So I'll just work out what I need for the width wise, because I've got that piece there, so cut a little bit off. Alright, so we finished this trap up. You know, as you can see, the design's basically the way it should be. It's not going to win a Pulitzer Prize for any sort of crab trap award, but it's going to do the job. I've made up a little bit of a cage for our bait here. Just going to pin that to the bottom there, and we're ready to go. I've got a little opening at the top, and I've got some wire to shut that up, and that'll just go in there like that. So I know now my bait's not going to get stolen, hopefully, in theory. Anyway, we'll see. Close that up. It's just a frozen chicken leg at the minute. And yeah, that there opens like that. So I've just got a bit of wire to sort of thread through here like this. It's a little bit difficult. Obviously, there's probably better methods, but where I am in the absolute back blocks of Cape York Peninsula at the moment, there's probably not really a great deal of options about for me to go to a corner shop and buy anything else. So that's it, and hopefully that'll give me some access to it when I need it. Not the easiest, but like I said, it's doing the job. I could probably run a couple of more bits just through here, but I don't think anything's going to sort of poke through there. I'll give it a couple just little twisty bits, but yeah, what we'll do now, I'll put a couple of twisty bits on here just to secure that. We'll go find a spot on the river and we'll get this in. Alright, so we're ready to put this in. I found a spot. Get this in and come back in probably a couple of hours and see how we go. So I'll tie this off to the tree. Nice green cord here. So what I've done, I'll tie this off. So I've got a bit of purple plastic bag, and that'll be right there. Bit of purple plastic bag. I'll just tie that around, sort of in it. I don't want this to go into the environment, so that'll help it stand out a bit more, help me see it. So yeah, we'll come back, hopefully we get some cherubim. Alright, first lift of this pot. I'm trying to stay away from the water as much as I can. Crocodilia. Hopefully there's some red claw in here. It's been about 2 hours. Or some cherubim or something. We got the cherubim last night, so oh, you know,
little tiny fishies.
Little jungle perch or something. Now, That's a bit of a bummer. Oh, we'll come back later. So this is what we're after with those traps, is these things here. Cherubim, you can see him, size of my hand, like he's a decent size. He just nicked me. Good thing they're not crabs, but that's what we're chasing. The big freshwater prawns. So I got 2 in there at the moment. I want to probably get a few more tonight, hopefully. They seem to be really prevalent at the dark time. We've checked the pots today and haven't had anything, so. But last night we picked these 2 up and some small ones we've used as bait to catch catfish with this morning. So yeah, we'll just try again tonight. Hopefully we get a few after sundown. We can actually make some cherubim linguini. That's the plan. We've got a couple here so far, and we've got them at night time. They don't seem to go during the day. They're fairly big, but we're having them with linguini. So I'm going to go into how we're going to do these, and yeah, your guess is as good as mine as how we're going to do them properly. This is my first time cooking these things. They're really big. You can see like what next to my head. I'm not going to put him too close, but he's actually fairly long. They're both. This one's longer than my hand, and this one's about the length of my hand. So I'm going to work out how to do them. I'll just put him aside there for a sec. I did think about frying them whole. I'm going to have to try to. What I'm going to do though, because we're going to do them in a pasta, I'm going to basically cut this guy straight down the centre here. And salt him up to start with so that he's actually seasoned. I don't know much about these things. I haven't cooked with them. There's not much on YouTube, so they're called a cherubim, and I was hoping for red claw, but this is what we've got, is these babies. Apparently they're really nice. They're full of flavour, so let's split him in half and have a look. He's got a bit of guts in there, so we want to probably get rid of that because I want this meat section here. So split him in half. There we go. And I'll get rid of those guts. Now just out to the side here, I suppose, because we don't want them. Actually, I'll get rid of them out of our campsite. And I'll do one of them, I'll do the other off camera. So what I'll do, basically, I'm going to put this meat in a linguini or a pasta, so give it a quick rinse off. So I've given that a quick rinse off, and I want to put some salt on it. I'll get this into a clean board. That one can be the yucky cutting them off before I do it, but I'm going to put a bit of salt on this. And I want that salt to sort of absorb into the meat. I'll put it in the fridge for about 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and just let that salt absorb in. This is Matt Anderson's chili salt that he sells on Scorching Saddle Chili Company. So this one here is the chipotle and lime, which is a bit of a funny sort of one to be going into a tomato and basil linguini, but we'll see how it goes. So I've got another one of them. We're not going to get as much meat as we'd like. I'll go down and check the pots before I actually cook. If we get another one or two, then good for us. If not, then it's only the 2. So yeah, I'll do that to the other one. I'm going to put them in the fridge now, let it set for half an hour or so, let that salt absorb into the meat, and I'll come back in, I don't know, half an hour, and we'll cook this dish. Hopefully you can see this. These are the cherubim we've got, and I'm just going to roast these above the coals for a couple of minutes each, just to hopefully separate the meat from the shell and just cook them just a slight bit. I've had that there, the oil in the wok there frying up for a bit. I got the pasta made, it's boiled up. I hand made the pasta, so that should be quite nice. There's a fair bit of heat coming there. I'll give that probably 3 or 4 minutes. I'll just let these cook. They've had the salt probably for about an hour now, absorbing in the fridge. So I'll come back in a few minutes. I'll just let these cook away. I'm going to scrape the meat out, so I probably won't show that on camera, but I'll scrape the meat out and then we'll go into making the pasta dish itself. Alright, so we've chopped up that cherubim. I've chopped it up fairly fine because there's not much meat in that, unfortunately. If you can see that there, that's what we got, the 2 that we got. I wanted more, but it's our first time trying to catch them, and anyway, you get that. So we got the pasta, I made that up, that's good. So what I've got some garlic, and I'll just get this in here right now. This shouldn't be too hot. I haven't got it above a high heat, just the stove. It wouldn't be, the stove, the campfire. It wouldn't be North Queensland Barbecue and Brewing if we didn't actually try to do stuff above some live fire every now and then. And I got a heap of cherry tomatoes, so chili? I'm literally just going to cook the rawness out of this. Chili. For a couple of minutes. And I've got chili as well, but first things first, I'll just let that sit there for about 20-30 seconds and add those tomatoes. I want them to have some crunch to them still. I want them to go through the pasta and really still have that crunch and the rawness to them, just because why not. A little bit of red chilli. We cut this up and we just glad wrapped it because we are literally in the middle of nowhere. So we'll add that. We've already salted, put salt in, so I will actually go get a little bit of pepper and add that, and maybe a little bit more salt. I'll stir this up for probably a minute and a half or so. That's getting a nice little bit of heat, what I need. I've got a little bit of butter, so I'm going to add that. There's not much there, like you can see what I've got. There's a handful, you know. I'll let that melt. I'll give that probably a minute or so just to work its way in, and then I'm going to add my pasta, and then I'll add the cherubim, and we'll mix that all together. Alright, so that's I've sauteed this for about 4 minutes now. It was a little bit cooler than I thought when I started. I'm going to throw the pasta in when it decides to fall out. Come on pasta, there we go. Add that. Give that a stir around, break it up a little bit. And if I need to add a bit of butter, I can, just to give that a bit more flavour. A bit more butter won't hurt actually, I probably will add some. Got that pasta in there. And I really want to stir this around just to mix everything up. And I'll add that little bit of cherubim. I've broke it up, so it should hopefully distribute through that meat and it'll cook a little bit more. It was kind of just al dente when we did it. And I want to get that mixed up. I want the flavour of that to go in. We don't have much, so yeah, it would have been good if we got a few more, but like I said, we'll have to learn. We went down to check the pots before, and I'll insert the clip in soon. There was a crocodile floating past. We are up in the Cape, so these things happen. So here's another one of the, I don't know if you can see it. We'll zoom in if we can. The light's probably not doing us justice, but there's one of the other Pandanus Park locals. Crocodile. Saw him before I had the lights on. We've had our crab pots down there all night, or the cray pots, and I've got a fishing line in right here, so yeah, he's drifting past. I saw his eyes reflecting on me. You can still see him now. But hopefully this turns out alright. I'll give this a couple of minutes, I'll stir it up. In fact, I'll add a little bit more butter, just to moisten that up, because I think butter never hurts anything. Break that up and I'll just stir that in. I'll flip this around a little bit more, but yeah, pretty simple dish. Chili, tomato, garlic, pasta and butter. A little bit of cherubim. And yeah, that's it. I'll come back in a few minutes and we'll be serving this. We're going to put Parmesan cheese on it. That butter's still melting away. And yeah, we'll come back in a couple of minutes and we'll try that and we'll see what it's like, and hopefully it tastes good. See you soon. I'm serving up now, and this will be for Louise. I'll make her the main taste tester as I usually do. It smells quite nice. The garlic and the tomatoes coming through, and there's a slight seafood smell to it as well. So I've mixed that cherubim right through. You can see flakes of it through the actual dish. You won't be able to pick it up on camera, but we're going to serve this with that should probably do. We're going to serve this with a bit of Parmesan, as we do with everything. We've only got not a fine grater, but this will be for Louise. I'll get her to I'll serve hers and give her the trial run. She won't have cracked pepper, I will. So, make the ultimate taste test to see what this is like. So I'm back in Cooktown now and I'm editing the video, and unfortunately I didn't press record for the final taste of this cherubim linguini, which is a bit of a shame. It came out really nicely actually, it was really good. Would have been nice to get about 3 or 4 more to get in there, but unfortunately we only got the 2. We caught more as the trip went on, but we ended up frying them over the charcoal. So that recipe would work really well for mud crab as well as prawns, so it's not just for cherubim. But anyway, if you like that video, yeah, like and subscribe, and if you want to see more like that, catch and cooking stuff, especially over the live fire, just let us know in the comments below and I'll endeavour to do it. Till next time guys, take care.